Doug Ford has been cleared by the Ethics Commissioner over his controversial attempted appointment of his good friend to Ontario's top cop. At the same time, though, the report finds the process was deeply flawed. Here it is, 102 pages. Doug Ford is claiming that it vindicates him. However, it also finds his inner circle was very involved with trying to get Ron Taverner the post.
The Integrity Commissioner found that we followed the letter of the law, as I was saying over and over again. As the Integrity Commissioner wrote, and I will quote the Integrity Commissioner, "It was my opinion that on the evidence, Premier Ford did not breach any of the sections of the Act as alleged. I found that the Premier stayed at arm's length from the recruitment process."
But the report also found Ford and his Chief of Staff, Dean French, both recommended 71-year-old Taverner, who has been on the job for over 50 years with Toronto Police, be considered for the OPP job, and reveals Dean French asked if the original job posting could be changed. Taverner, who is a superintendent, didn't have the rank to qualify for the initial one. A lobbyist who worked on Doug Ford's campaign was called in to provide media training for Taverner, and Steve Orsini, Ontario's top bureaucrat who headed up the public service, apparently told someone he was feeling pressured to hire a friend of the Fords. Orsini recommended Taverner's appointment be postponed. When it wasn't, he quit. A short time later, Taverner sent a letter asking that his appointment be postponed.
And the most frustrating part of this whole process, I couldn't say a word. As you're being attacked through the media, being attacked by the opposition, I was handcuffed.
Doug Ford maintains it was all above board and points to Premier Dalton McGuinty hiring Julian Fantino as OPP Commissioner after one face-to-face meeting. The difference here and what has drawn so much attention is the fact that you're so close as friends, and there should be, do you not agree? Maybe you don't agree. Shouldn't there be a separation between politicians and the top cop for the province?
Well, Cynthia, if you want to look at it that way, I know thousands and thousands of police officers. I've always said full disclosure, I love our police. I've never hidden away from it. But again, we're going back to the Integrity Commissioner's report. The Integrity Commissioner, again, said this, we followed the letter of the law, and if we didn't do anything wrong.
But there is no law to follow, isn't that?
Well,
you've been clear
again,
there are no rules.
Thank you for your point, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that really is the point. There are no rules around appointments, so essentially, none were broken.
The questions that still remain from this report are questions that the broader public need to have answered. And the Premier stood here in front of us today and answered none of them. Why were they so adamant about pushing Mr. Taverner forward? Why was there pressure on Mr. Orsini to hire a friend of the Premier?
There are perhaps other violations of the Public Service Act, of the Integrity Act.
The Integrity Commissioner is recommending that the hiring process for OPP Commissioner be changed in the future, adding that given the sensitivity of the relationship between government and police, there ought to be an established appointment process that is transparent. Ron Taverner remains as a superintendent with Toronto Police, and just last week, the province appointed Thomas Carrique, who was a deputy chief with York Regional Police, as OPP Commissioner.